The sun is beginning to set in Valencia. The end of testing has come. We've had 3 days here in Valencia ahead of the 9th season of the ABB FIA Formula E Championship. New cars, new everything, really, ready for this season. And so, yeah, we're going to have a little wander down each garage and have a little chat about what has happened over the last couple of days. Now, unfortunately, the thing I was going to talk about first, they've shut their doors, not at the FIA, they're supposed to be here. It's not any of the teams, it's actually Hankook, because obviously they're the new tyre supplier for the Formula E Championship. And that's been quite a lot of talk this week. So basically, the tyre that they've created, while it may look very similar to what Michelin have provided us with for the last 8 seasons, it's very different. They've spent so many resources getting ready for this season. They've used about 60 to 70 tyres, I believe they said in their press conference on Wednesday, was it? Yeah, Wednesday was the first day here, by the way, at least for me, because travel issues, annoyingly. It was too cold, too snowy to take off on Monday, so basically I didn't get out here for day one, but it's okay. I missed the day that it rained, so, you know, there's always a plus. But yeah, Hankook, they're the new tyre supplier, and basically up and down pit lane, they're trying to get their heads around it. They're trying to get their heads around this new tyre, what it's like, because it's a very long-lasting tyre. You think the Michelin, because you only had 2 sets a day, these, according to Lucas Di Grassi, could last up to 10 times longer than what the Michelins did, which is crazy, but that is what that is what Formula E asked Hankook to do, and they've delivered, really. And that's been like the main reason why the times aren't as quick as everyone thought they were going to be. And so now we move on to our first team, and you'll just be able to see in the background, we are back. Yes, the apt Cupra Formula E team, as they're going to be called now, are back in Formula E, and Cupra, as was revealed by our colleagues at eFormula D, might be looking to, there we go, I'll get the sun out, otherwise I'm just a shadow, might be looking to join the fray in a couple of years' time. So it's nice to see out back. They've got proven race winner Robin Freins, they've got Nico Muller in there, Thomas Biermeier, the team principal, he says they're quite behind. This was like a last-minute job to put everything together. Mehinkle was very helpful in providing the powertrain, but they've got a lot of work to do for catching up. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see App back though, and it means that we've still got 11 teams. So now we move on to the teams that were here last year, and last place in the championship was Penske, unfortunately, but they will not be last place at the end of this season. I can guarantee that now, because, as is the tradition with this, if Jack George-Maynor says that anything's going to happen, it doesn't happen. So when he said on the FEZ show last week, DS Penske aren't going to be there, they're going to be there. They were incredibly quick this week. If they weren't top in the sessions, they were easily top 5. Van Dorn almost finished with the fastest time, but Gunter just pipped him right at the end. As you can see, like, the packup's happening behind me, so and everything's getting ready to be shipped out to Mexico City. Actually, you might just be able to see Dan Tickton right in the back of the. No, you won't. Yeah, he's back in the garage. Neo, they think that they'll be somewhere around the midfield, potentially, because obviously they were, well, for the last few years, they've been nearest the bottom. And they genuinely feel like they've made a step. I spoke to Seti Camera yesterday. He feels like they've kind of made a step, and that it could be possible to be fine there or thereabout. Unfortunately for Seth Camera, he had to sit out the entirety of today's running due to a mechanical problem, so he missed basically an entire days of work, which is a shame. He was in his civvies by about 9:30, which is the time I got here today, and we'll have another talk about me being here at 9:30 a little bit later on, shall we? But yeah, they're going to be a great lineup. Obviously no Oliver Turvey, but he has moved just next door to DS, so I can't see them not succeeding. They've got Oliver Turvey there as well, who is a very intelligent man, very quick driver as well. So yeah, I'm certain they're going to do well. Neo, fingers crossed they'll be there or thereabout as well. They'll be picking up points here and there, which means that we move on to Nissan, just picked by Mahindra in the end in the Constructors' Championship. So, and they've got a brand new all French driver lineup, even though the team isn't French anymore. Dams have gone. You say that, they're still running out the Dams trucks, so they're still there. But Norman Natter, he was there or thereabout in some of the days. He topped the hour of running that we had yesterday. So they added a session yesterday because people are really trying to get their heads around Gen 3, and we've had some issues that I will get onto later on. It's not just my flights, but I was still very unhappy about that. But yeah, Natter's look quick. And then Sasha Fenestras, he's been there. He's been occasionally there, but unfortunately, second slowest for Sasha. But he's still learning. He says that coming in as a rookie in this year is probably a little bit easier than any other years gone by, so that's all right. We now move on to Mahindra, who I tipped to do very well. Oliver Rowland was actually leading most of today, actually, and I think he ended up in the top 5 of the fastest times. Lucas Di Grassi not far down from that, but yeah, and we will be speaking to Oliver Rowland some point in the new year, hopefully. So we'll, and that will become probably a feature in the magazine. So yes, lots of things to look forward to in the new year. But yeah, we'll keep on heading down. I still think Mahindra could do rather well, but we'll have to see. I mean, like, the thing is, we're testing is you don't trust it. If you trust testing, you're an idiot. I think you said trust testing, right? There's a little bit of a walk here. A little bit of a walk before I get to Porsche. I'll be honest, tad disappointing. I think, and I think they will be disappointed, because I think they've come into this year thinking, yeah, this is going to be our year to properly get in, and we're going to go for it. They've signed Antonio Felix Acosta, which is fantastic, and Antonio says, like, we're not going to be sandbagging or anything. This is going to be our true pace, but I hope that they're sandbagging, because highest Porsche engine driver was Jake Dennis in like 12th or 13th average, and then DaCosta was like 3rd slowest. The thing is with Porsche, I mean, like, they either turn up or they don't turn up. So I'm hoping that they've rectified that issues, and then fingers crossed for this year. I mean, like, my camera's so hard to hold today. Oh my god, I've just restrapped it onto the selfie stick. You can't see the contraption. Oh, you can see it. Oh, whoops! That's been there the entire thing. That's good. Also, like, on the main circuits, like when we go to Mexico, they always seem really, really quick there. So I'm surprised that they're not quicker here, but they might have set up more for street circuits this year. I'm gonna adjust my camera. There we go. That's a little bit easier to hold. Andretti. I'll be honest, like, the only thing that I'm wildly amazed at is that they've ditched the number 28. What I will say about the number 28, which was Oliver Askey's number from last year, he posted something on Instagram on Wednesday. It was like, I wish I was there, or something like that. But it's like, yeah, Oliver Askey deserved the seat, but also Andre Losser deserves to be here as well. So, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Jake Dennis, as I say, fastest Porsche driver. So fingers crossed they'll be in the mix for next season. We move on to Envision as I get a better grip on this camera. I'm going to have RSI by the end of this. Envision, right, so the main story from today, just going to move because I think the medical car's just going to come past. Main story from today is that Sebastian Buemi he went out and then he had a brake failure. Sorry, you can see my face now. It's hard, this. He had a brake failure, which was a shame. You just see Sylvan in the background. Which meant that they pulled all the Jaguar powered cars in. So Nick Astley didn't do a lap this morning, and Mitch and Sam did get back out there, but only for a handful of laps. But yeah, it was, yeah. But overall, like, even though Sebastian Buemi, so he missed the entirety of the day, he missed the afternoon on Monday as well because he didn't get a lap in before it chopped it down. So yeah, I think that Envision have had a fairly solid test for the 1.5 cars that they've been running, basically. But yeah, I think they've been where you expect Envision to be. They're either like top of the midfield kind of range. Like, there haven't been that many shocks so far from testing, so there's nothing really to rant and rave about yet. But then again, that's Formula E. Like, you don't go into a weekend going, oh, this will happen, because it won't. You've got no idea what's going to happen in Formula E. It's fantastic. That's why we love it. But yeah, Envision, I mean, like, they've done well for the amount of testing that they've had. Right. The medical car's gone past, so I can actually go back into, I think they call this the cold lane in America. So you got the hot pit and the cold pit, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, not America. Right, Jaguar. Not sure if you can just see Mitch in the back of that carriage there. Mitch is there. Yeah, they've obviously they were sidelined today, which was a bit annoying, but they've had a solid test. Mitch, do you mind if I have a couple of words? Or yeah. Oh, you're doing something else. Okay, no worries. But yeah, no, they've had an all right test. Sam got a lap in right at the end of the session. Mitch parked up just before the end, unfortunately for him. But yeah, I think they've had a solid test. They've got a great new colour scheme. I do actually really rate the new look, but they're not right in the championship round yet. But you know, I mean, like, it's Formula E. Give it a couple days, a couple races even. You know, they'll be there. Easy. Also, double header in Rome. We know what he's like for that. So, and that's the last of the teams that competed last year. So let's go to 2 new teams. A little bit of Toto Africa. What a tune. From, I think it's the Maserati pit. I can't, yeah, Maserati, because McLaren's got something else on. The mashup is weird. So yeah, Maserati ended up the quickest team. Max Günther, he's been right on it from day one. I genuinely, is he a bit of a testing merchant? Because I didn't actually look this up because it's only just come to me. But didn't Max top? I want to say season 7 for BMW. The season 7 for BMW testing. But yeah, he's jumped straight in the Maserati and just felt straight at home. And Edo's there or thereabout as well. So a very strong effort from the both of them. Max trying to downplay it. He says that it's not really relevant because, like, this isn't really a Formula E track. So fingers crossed that Max has a better season than last. Because yeah, I mean, like, he didn't have a great last year at Nissan, but he'll be back on form. Edo, he describes himself like the nearly man at this point, but But yeah. Oh, I think they've got the Grease Mega Mix now. I'm going to move on. Right, let's get away from that. But I don't know, it's not that I hate Grease, it's just that when I was at uni, you know, like on the cheese nights where they play that like 5 times. I've heard it enough. Thank you. Let's move on to McLaren, and it's basically the same team that won the championship last year, and you can tell they have been right on the pace. The Nissan powertrain works fantastically in their car. And yeah, they were. Jake Hughes won the mock race. Admittedly, he was on the front row. They did a rolling start, and it was Rast on pole, Hughes second. But yeah, they will be right in the hunt again. Jake's slotted in really well into the team. Obviously, he was a reserve driver here, and the fact that it's the same team as that he was the reserve driver for, he feels that he's slotted in fantastically so far. Rene wasn't really expecting the call-up to be in the McLaren, but he was happy for it regardless because he wanted to come back to Formula E after his year in it with Audi a couple of years ago. But yeah, have I missed anything on my way down? Don't think I have. So that leaves me to say thank you for watching. Now, last year I went to quite a lot of the races. This year I'm not. Grand's inheritance has dried up a little bit, and I need a new car because my one has power steering failure, and we've done everything to try and get it sorted, and it's not. So I'm not going to all the races. I might try and get to Saudi. If not, it's going to be April when you next hear another Picko's Pitwalk in Berlin, because I don't think money can stretch me to get to Cape Town or India or Sao Paulo. Actually, I like this track from McLaren. I don't know what it is, but it's an absolute bop. It's an absolute bop. We'll end there then. See you soon. We don't know when. Happy New Year. Have a great Christmas. From all of us at Formula E Zone. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.